Have you ever pondered over the ice-covered wilderness at the bottom of our world, Antarctica? A place that feels so alien yet is a part of our home planet, brimming with extreme conditions, profound isolation, and most intriguingly, secrets. As we dive into this icy expanse, we find that Antarctica holds a captivating allure. This is the coldest, windiest, and driest continent on Earth. Here, it's not uncommon to witness snowstorms that can last for weeks, winds that reach speeds of up to 200 miles per hour, and temperatures that plunge to an unimaginable -128.6 degrees Fahrenheit. The inhospitable environment makes it one of the least explored places on our planet. Yet the most fascinating part is, Antarctica wasn't always this icy wonderland. Picture lush forests, warm environments, and a rich array of life forms, from towering dinosaurs to a diversity of plant species. That was Antarctica millions of years ago during the late Cretaceous period. But the transition from this paradise to the frozen desert we see today remains one of the greatest climatic mysteries. What brought about this drastic shift? Well, scientists believe that the movement of tectonic plates isolated Antarctica from other continents, leading to a circular ocean current that trapped cold water around it. But the full story of Antarctica's icy transformation is still being unraveled, layer by layer, much like the ice cores that scientists dig up to study past climates. In this vast expanse of ice and mystery, every discovery only seems to unearth more questions. Antarctica, the last frontier on Earth, has been a stage for some of the most intriguing and unexplained disappearances in human history. While some may attribute these to the harsh and unpredictable nature of the icy wilderness, others find a deeper mystery wrapped in the cold white sheets of the Antarctic. One such story is of the British polar explorer Belgrave Ninnis. During the 1911 Australasian Antarctic expedition, led by Douglas Mawson, Ninnis, along with Mawson and Xavier Mertz, embarked on a journey to chart the icy wilderness. However, in a cruel twist of fate, Ninnis plunged into a hidden crevasse along with the expedition's best dogs and most of their supplies. His body was never recovered, and his loss greatly impacted the expedition and particularly Mawson, who barely survived the ordeal. A more modern mystery is the case of Carl Dish, an American scientist stationed at the Byrd Station in 1965. One day, Dish walked out of the station for a routine task and never returned. Despite extensive search efforts in the severe conditions, no trace of him was ever found. To this day, his disappearance remains one of the unsolved mysteries of Antarctica. Another strange disappearance occurred in 1947, involving the infamous Operation High Jump led by Admiral Richard Byrd. The operation ended prematurely and several crew members unexpectedly lost their lives. Official records attribute these losses to harsh weather and aircraft crashes, but conspiracy theories suggest something more nefarious, involving secret Nazi bases and even UFOs. Living in Antarctica is a risky endeavor with its unforgiving weather and isolation. Each disappearance underscores not only the personal tragedies of those lost, but also the sheer power and mystery of this final frontier. Even with our modern technology and understanding, Antarctica continues to guard its secrets closely. In a region dominated by snow and ice, any structure that deviates from this frozen landscape captures immediate attention. Satellite images from 2012 unveiled a potential anomaly in Antarctica's icy expanse, a structure bearing an uncanny resemblance to a pyramid. The pyramid-like formation, covered in snow, sparked a flurry of speculation and discussion. The formation is perfectly shaped, suggesting artificial construction rather than natural formation. For some, this is evidence of a lost civilization that once thrived in Antarctica when it was a much warmer place. Ancient astronaut theorists propose that these pyramids were constructed by extraterrestrial beings that visited Earth thousands of years ago. But mainstream scientists offer a more down-to-earth explanation. They believe that the so-called pyramids are merely nunataks, peaks of rock that protrude through ice or snow. Nunataks are common in heavily glaciated areas and can appear pyramid-like, particularly when eroded by wind and frost. Yet the exact origin of these structures remains unknown. Exploring these regions is an incredibly challenging task due to Antarctica's unforgiving climate and remote location. Until a thorough investigation can be made, the origins of the Antarctic pyramids will remain a mystery, nestled within the frozen extremes of our planet. Another interesting theory linked to the pyramids of Antarctica is the existence of an ancient, advanced civilization under the ice. Based on ancient texts and maps, like the Piri Reis map that accurately depicts Antarctica without ice, some argue that a civilization, advanced enough to build pyramids, once flourished there. However, most scientists dismiss this theory, suggesting that the map interpretations are incorrect and that the pyramid-like structures are natural formations. The Antarctic Pyramids mystery continues to fascinate and stir curiosity, with every theory providing a new perspective on our understanding of Earth's history. The unforgiving and inaccessible nature of Antarctica adds to this intrigue, making it a place of eternal fascination. In the realm of Antarctic mysteries, few are as intriguing or enshrouded in controversy as Operation High Jump. Led by Rear Admiral Richard E. Byrd of the United States Navy in 1946–47, this expedition to Antarctica was officially described as a scientific endeavor aimed at exploring the continent and establishing a research base, little America before. But let's think about this. Operation High Jump was at the time the largest Antarctic expedition ever undertaken, with a task force of over 4,700 men, 13 ships and numerous aircraft. This scientific mission was armed to the teeth. The sheer scale of the operation has raised questions about its true purpose. Was it just scientific curiosity, or was there something more to this journey to the bottom of the world? Here's where it gets even weirder. According to some reports, Admiral Byrd warned about enemy fighters that can fly from pole to pole with incredible speed upon his return. This unusual statement stirred numerous theories, including encounters with unknown advanced technology or even extraterrestrial forces. Conspiracy theories abound, ranging from a secret mission to destroy a hidden Nazi base in Antarctica to a search for the entrance to a suspected hollow Earth. Some even suggest that Operation High Jump was a cover-up for a secret nuclear weapons testing program. The official report by the US Navy states that the expedition was terminated due to early ice formation and personnel safety. However, given the premature end to the expedition, just weeks into what was supposed to be a 6-month mission, the abrupt conclusion has added to the layers of intrigue surrounding Operation High Jump. While most scientists and historians stick to the official narrative of a scientific expedition encountering unforeseen challenges, others continue to speculate on what truly occurred during Operation High Jump. Despite the wealth of theories, the full details of what transpired during this mysterious mission remain locked beneath the ice of official secrecy and speculative conjecture. Just like the pyramids and disappearances, Operation High Jump adds yet another piece to the intricate puzzle of Antarctica's mysteries. Let's delve into Antarctica's many mysteries. Ever heard of Lake Vostok? It's the largest of more than 400 known subglacial lakes in Antarctica. Hidden under more than 2 miles of ice, Lake Vostok is about the size of Lake Ontario and has been sealed off from the world for up to 25 million years. What might be lurking in its depths? In 2012, Russian scientists finally reached the lake after more than 2 decades of drilling. The samples they obtained revealed the presence of an astonishing variety of life forms, many of which couldn't be matched to known species. Could these be ancient organisms trapped in time and evolved in isolation? Or might they hint at the types of life forms that could exist in similar extreme environments, say the icy moons of Jupiter and Saturn? This alien world beneath the ice has opened up new possibilities for astrobiology, the study of life's potential beyond Earth. Another unsolved Antarctic mystery involves the Piri Reis map. This map, drawn in 1513 by the Ottoman Admiral Piri Reis, shows the Atlantic coast of Europe, Africa and the Americas in remarkable detail for its time. But its depiction of Antarctica is the most controversial part. The map seems to show the subglacial topography of Queen Maud Land in Antarctica, a feature unknown until the advent of modern seismic surveying. How could this knowledge appear on a map drawn more than 500 years ago? Despite numerous theories, the mystery remains. Lastly, there's the haunting story of the Endurance, a ship led by explorer Ernest Shackleton in an ill-fated 1914 attempt to cross Antarctica. The ship was trapped and eventually crushed by sea ice, forcing the crew to embark on a perilous journey to safety. Remarkably, all of them survived, but the wreck of the Endurance has never been found. In the silent white wilderness of Antarctica, Countless stories are waiting to be discovered and understood. For every question we answer, it seems a new one appears like a fractal pattern in the snow, reminding us of the beauty of exploration and the thrill of the unknown. So there you have it, Antarctica, a land that seems to hold more questions than answers. Its icy expanse has been a stage for enigmatic tales of mysterious structures, inexplicable disappearances, and Operation High Jump's elusive motives. What if I told you that one of the most secretive and mysterious places on Earth is also one of the coldest? A place that holds hidden mountain ranges, alien-like landscapes, and clandestine meetings of the world's most influential figures. A place that has been agreed upon by nearly every nation to remain untouched, yet is the subject of countless expeditions and rumors of covert operations. We're talking about Antarctica, a land of snow and ice and a hotbed of intrigue. So let's embark on a chilling journey to the world's southernmost continent, shall we? Antarctica, Earth's southernmost continent, home to sub-zero temperatures, colossal glaciers, and a distinct lack of permanent residents. But this isn't just a barren, icy wilderness. In fact, it's a place that piques our collective curiosity. Could this frozen wasteland be teeming with secrets just waiting to be uncovered? Antarctica boasts an array of fascinating and unique geographic features, the likes of which can't be found anywhere else on Earth. Its expansive ice sheets, the largest single mass of ice on our planet, are powerful enough to influence global weather patterns and sea levels. Beneath this icy surface lies a diverse landscape of mountains, valleys, and even subglacial lakes, their secrets perfectly preserved by the unforgiving cold. Amid these extreme conditions, life persists. Antarctica is home to a rich array of wildlife, from the regal emperor penguins to the tiny hardy tardigrades. Yet human habitation here is temporary and limited, with no native or permanent residents. The people who do venture here are usually scientists living in research stations, studying everything from climate change to astrobiology, in conditions that are as close as we can get to those on other planets. And then, of course, there's the ominous polar night. And for about half the year, the sun never rises over the Antarctic horizon, plunging the continent into months of relentless darkness. Imagine standing there, beneath the ethereal glow of the aurora australis, the frozen plains stretching out before you as far as the eye can see, untouched and silent. It's in this profound silence and isolation that one begins to wonder, what secrets does Antarctica hold? Why do people, some of them very influential, visit this icy, inhospitable wilderness? Could there be clandestine meetings occurring in the hushed silence of its frozen expanse? Antarctica's enduring allure lies in its isolation, its extreme conditions, and its inaccessibility. It's a place that challenges our understanding of life and survival, a testament to nature's raw power and resilience. It's a place of mystery and beauty, of ice and isolation. But the real question that hangs over this icy wilderness is this: what secrets does it hold? Let's start by exploring the enigma that is Antarctica. So we've talked about the famous faces who've been to Antarctica and the ambiguities surrounding their trips. But what about the mysterious missions that have taken place in this frozen wasteland? Because as it turns out, Antarctica has been the stage for several undertakings that still baffle us today. Let's begin with Operation High Jump. This expedition, led by the United States Navy in 1946, was officially a scientific and exploratory mission. But the scale was staggering. Around 4,000 personnel, 13 ships and numerous aircraft were involved, making it the largest Antarctic expedition ever. Officially, the mission was to establish a research base and to test military hardware in extreme conditions. Yet the operation ended abruptly, well before the planned 8-month duration. Why was that? Well, the official explanation was unfavorable weather conditions, but conspiracy theorists suggest there might be more to it. Another significant event was the Soviet Union's Antarctic expeditions in the late 1950s and 60s, particularly the establishment of the Vostok Station. Beneath this station lies the hidden Lake Vostok, a vast untouched body of water cut off from the world for possibly millions of years. Could the Soviet Union have been interested in something more than just scientific research? But perhaps one of the most intriguing stories of Antarctic exploration is the British Operation Tabarin of 1943. Officially, this mission aimed to provide a British presence in the Antarctic, denying access to the area for enemy ships and submarines during World War II. but the secrecy surrounding it, plus the establishment of permanently occupied bases, led to speculations about potential ulterior motives. All these missions, while draped in the mantle of science and exploration, had undertones of military strategy, geopolitical influence, or, according to some, even darker purposes. Whether it was the Americans, the Soviets, or the British, each expedition left behind a legacy of unanswered questions. What were these nations truly seeking in the vast, icy expanse of Antarctica? The answers, much like the continent itself, remain in mystery and ice. Now, you may be wondering, who are these high-profile visitors we're talking about? Well, over the years, there have been several intriguing instances of noted individuals journeying to the Antarctic. Let's delve into a few of these enigmatic encounters. One of the most famous figures to visit Antarctica was none other than the Secretary of State of the United States, John Kerry. This happened in 2016 during the last days of his term in office. What makes this trip interesting isn't just the timing, but also the reasoning. While the stated purpose was to learn about the effects of climate change, conspiracy theorists suggest there could be more to the story. Then we have the case of the revered Apollo astronaut Buzz Aldrin, who journeyed to the South Pole at the age of 86. The official reason? A tourist visit. But Aldrin's trip, given his NASA background, spurred theories about potential extraterrestrial interests in the region. Rounding up our list is Prince Harry of the United Kingdom, who trekked to the South Pole with wounded veterans in a charity event. But was this just a charity event, or was there something else to this royal visit? And let's not forget the Russian Orthodox Church's Patriarch Kirill, who also visited a Russian scientific base in Antarctica. His motive? To bless the continent, or was there a hidden reason? All these visits by people from different nations and fields, each with their own stated reasons, seem to suggest that there might be more happening on this icy, deserted continent than meets the eye. Given the constraints and difficulties of getting to Antarctica, one has to ask, why would these people from various parts of the world take the time and effort to visit this inhospitable land? And why do these visits often seem in secrecy or ambiguity? Is it merely a coincidence that these powerful figures chose to venture to the Earth's southernmost point? Or could there be clandestine motivations hidden beneath the iceberg? We can only hypothesize and wonder as Antarctica continues to keep its secrets well guarded. The allure of Antarctica doesn't end with its geopolitical intrigue or its VIP guest list. The land itself holds secrets that baffle scientists and thrill seekers alike. For instance, beneath its icy surface, Antarctica hides the Gamburtsev Mountains, a mountain range as grand as the Alps, entirely buried under miles of ice. Discovered in 1958 by Soviet scientists, these ghost mountains remain a mystery, with scientists still unsure how they formed or why they haven't eroded away. But it's not just mountains that Antarctica keeps under wraps. Lake Vostok, which I mentioned earlier, is another of Antarctica's hidden marvels. It's one of the largest lakes on Earth by volume, and it's been sealed off from the world under kilometers of ice for 15 million years. Who knows what kind of life might have evolved in its dark, cold waters over such a vast span of time? Even stranger are the eerie phenomena that occur on the icy continent. Take the Blood Falls, for instance, a flow of iron-rich water that stains the Taylor Glacier a horrifying shade of red. Or the massive, nearly perfect circular hole in the sea ice, known as a polynya, that keeps appearing and disappearing in the Weddell Sea, baffling scientists. Then there's the Bloop, an ultra-low-frequency, high-amplitude underwater sound detected by NOAA in 1997. While scientists think the noise is most likely from icequakes, others believe it could be a giant, unknown sea creature lurking in the icy depths. But perhaps the biggest secret of all is the mystery of what lies beneath the ice. Scientists have found evidence of warm caves heated by volcanic activity that could potentially host life. Additionally, satellite imagery has revealed strange, unnatural-looking structures beneath the ice, leading to wild speculations about lost civilizations or even extraterrestrial bases. These elements, together with the political and historical mysteries we've discussed, make Antarctica a hotbed of intrigue. Despite its frigid temperatures, what secrets does this icy fortress still hold? Only time, exploration, and science can tell. Let's begin with a question. What is the only continent on Earth without a native human population? If you guessed Antarctica, you'd be correct. This naturally leads to the question, who owns Antarctica? Interestingly, nobody does. In fact, the continent is governed by a pioneering piece of legislation known as the Antarctic Treaty. The Antarctic Treaty, signed in 1959, is an unprecedented international agreement that has been in place for over half a century. This groundbreaking pact, ratified by 54 parties as of now, suspends national claims to territory in Antarctica, making the continent a shared scientific preserve. But what's even more fascinating is that it prohibits military activity, mineral mining, nuclear testing, and nuclear waste disposal. Imagine the foresight it took to keep one of Earth's last frontiers free from exploitation and conflict. Antarctica, in essence, represents a remarkable experiment in international cooperation and peace. It's an attempt to maintain the pristine condition of the continent and its ecosystems for future generations. The treaty also encourages freedom of scientific investigation and cooperation between nations, and this cooperation has led to some monumental discoveries in fields like geology, glaciology, and climatology. Not to mention, it has provided us with invaluable insights into the history of our planet and the effects of climate change. Now, while all these regulations are in place, the treaty doesn't explicitly ban human presence or certain types of activity. It has specific provisions for inspection and observation by any party, at any time. However, the mystery deepens when we learn that while countries have the liberty to send scientific expeditions, many reports suggest that VIPs and important figures have visited the icy continent under hushed circumstances. So, why would these important personalities want to visit the coldest, windiest, driest, and arguably the harshest place on Earth? Is it the allure of the untamed wilderness? Or are there secret meetings taking place beneath the guise of scientific expeditions? The conjectures only add to the aura of mystery that surrounds Antarctica. The icy fortress of Antarctica, filled with political VIP visitors, daring missions, and natural wonders that defy comprehension. Whether it's secret meetings, ghost mountains, eerie sounds, or potential extraterrestrial bases, Antarctica continues to baffle, intrigue, and fascinate us. As the world advances, so does our curiosity and our ability to explore these remaining frontiers. Only time, exploration, and science will reveal the full scope of Antarctica's secrets. Until then, we'll keep asking questions and seeking answers. The call of the unknown, the allure of uncharted territory, the thrill of new discovery. They're powerful motivators. They have driven us to the depths of the oceans, to the peaks of the highest mountains, and even out into the farthest reaches of space. But sometimes the unknown bites back. Today we're stepping into the icy, desolate, yet mesmerizing world of Antarctica, and our guides for this chilling journey are none other than the brave, or perhaps the foolhardy crew of the Belgica, who embarked on a perilous Antarctic expedition in the late 19th century. What can their ill-fated voyage teach us about human perseverance, the power of ingenuity, and the high price of exploration? Let's dive in. Picture this. It's August 1897. A sturdy oak-framed ship with triple-sheathed hull named Belgica embarks from the historic city of Antwerp, Belgium. This three-masted vessel, constructed with the strength to withstand the fierce Antarctic conditions, was destined to be a part of history as it set sail under the Belgian flag. The expedition was captained by Adrien de Gerlache, a driven, audacious 31-year-old Belgian naval officer. It was his spirit of adventure that prompted him to invest his personal fortune into this expedition. His motivation was not mere territorial conquest, as it was with so many explorers of the age. No, de Gerlache was driven by scientific curiosity, with the intention to explore the largely uncharted Antarctic region and contribute to the understanding of its mysterious icy wilderness. The crew, handpicked by de Gerlache himself, was as diverse as they were courageous. The Belgica was manned by an international team, which included the American doctor Frederick Cook and Roald Amundsen, a young Norwegian who would later be famed for leading the first successful expedition to the South Pole. As the Belgica cut through the North Sea and later through the unforgiving waters of the South Atlantic, excitement among the crew was palpable. They were bound by a shared sense of purpose, each man knowing that they were on the brink of a groundbreaking expedition that could expand the world as they knew it. But, as they would soon discover, Antarctica's icy seas had other plans. Upon reaching the Antarctic waters, the Belgica was greeted with a sight that was as beautiful as it was eerie. Massive icebergs floated like spectral monoliths in the ocean, their peaks illuminated by the ethereal Antarctic light. The silence of the landscape was broken only by the harsh scraping of ice against the Belgica's reinforced hull. These first encounters with the Antarctic landscape served as a chilling reminder of the perils that lay ahead. On February 28, 1898, the Belgica got entrapped in the Antarctic pack ice. The crew watched with growing concern as the sea around them turned into a vast plain of solid ice. Trapped far from civilization, in a sea frozen into immobility, the Belgica and her crew were left to the mercy of the unforgiving Antarctic winter. Imagine the psychological impact this would have had on the crew. Trapped in an icy prison, with the darkness of the polar night descending upon them, the crew had to face the unsettling reality that they were stuck in the ice with no means of escape. However, as daunting as their predicity was, de Gerlach insisted on maintaining scientific operations. The crew continued to take meteorological and magnetic readings, hunted for penguins and seals, and dug ice tunnels for temperature readings. In many ways, the Belgica's enforced halt turned it into an ad hoc polar research station. For the next several months, the ship was enveloped in almost continuous darkness. The days and nights blurred into an unending twilight, punctuated only by the green and pink flickers of the aurora australis. The stunning beauty of the southern lights offered a stark contrast to the bleak reality of their predicament. The Belgica was lost in the coldest place on Earth, with no guarantee of ever escaping its icy grip. As the full severity of the Antarctic winter began to set in, life aboard the Belgica became increasingly grim. The lack of sunlight and the monotony of the ice-locked seascape took a toll on the crew's mental health. The polar night, with its unending darkness, is psychologically unnerving in a way few of us can truly understand. The temperature outside regularly plunged below -30 degrees Celsius, which was so cold that it caused the ship's outer hull to groan and creak as it contracted. The men had to take shifts to chip away the ice accumulating on the ship's exterior to prevent it from being crushed. Their diet, consisting largely of tinned food, was hardly appetizing or nutritious, and it began to affect their health. Scurvy, caused by vitamin C deficiency, began to appear among the crew. The ship's cat, Nansen, named after the famed Norwegian explorer, sadly became one of the first victims, losing its life to the freezing conditions. Conditions worsened when the ship's doctor, Frederick Cook, identified the first signs of polar madness, or polar hysteria as he termed it, among the crew. The unending darkness, extreme cold, and monotonous isolated conditions led to symptoms of severe depression, anxiety, and paranoia. Cook was not just the ship's doctor, but also its psychologist, treating both the physical and psychological illnesses on board. The grim winter brought them face to face not just with physical hardships, but a psychological battle of endurance. In these harsh conditions, the men had to fight not just for survival, but for their sanity as well. When faced with such a daunting survival situation, the crew of the Belgica had to get creative. Dr. Cook, realizing the lack of vitamins in their diet, suggested hunting for fresh meat. The frozen wasteland was not completely devoid of life, and they were able to supplement their diet with Antarctic seabirds and penguins, dramatically improving their health. Crew morale was another critical issue to address. Imagine being stuck in a cold, dark, monotonous environment for an extended period. The psychological stress is unimaginable. To counter this, the crew initiated a daily routine that included chores, scientific work, and even social activities. Regular meals, group reading sessions, and music performances were organized to break the monotony and bring some semblance of normalcy. In addition, to fight the darkness-induced depression, a rudimentary light therapy was devised. Sunlight, or its absence, can significantly impact our mood, sleep, and overall well-being. Recognizing this, Dr. Cook installed a light room where the crew members could bathe in the light emitted by the ship's carbon arc lamps, simulating sunlight and staving off the worst effects of the polar darkness. This creative solution was, in essence, one of the earliest uses of phototherapy, a practice now widespread in modern medicine to treat conditions like seasonal affective disorder. Despite these measures, surviving the harsh Antarctic winter was not an easy task. The crew battled frostbite, near starvation, madness, and despair. Some of them, such as the Belgian sailor Augusta Karl Wienke, tragically didn't make it. But against all odds, most of the crew survived, waiting desperately for the summer thaw to free their ship from the ice's grip. Finally, after months of grueling hardship, the summer sun began to peek over the horizon, hinting at the end of the long Antarctic winter. But despite the slight warming, the Belgica remained firmly trapped in the ice. Survival had shifted into another phase: escape. Dr. Cook and Amundsen, already having demonstrated remarkable leadership in maintaining the crew's morale and health, now turned their attention to freeing the Belgica from its icy prison. They understood that waiting passively could mean another winter trapped in the ice, a scenario they knew the crew could not survive, so they devised a plan to manually break and saw the ice around the Belgica. It was a monumental task, given the ice was several feet thick, and the ship was trapped for nearly a mile's length. Armed with pickaxes, saws and shovels, the crew labored diligently, chipping away at the frozen ocean. They even attempted to blast the ice with explosives, only to find the shock could damage the Belgica's hull. After weeks of grueling labor, they made progress. The crew, in a feat of extraordinary determination, carved a channel nearly 900 meters long and wide enough for the Belgica to pass through. However, there was another obstacle. The ship's engines, unused and unmaintained for more than a year, were in dire condition. But with some improvised repairs and the combined strength of the desperate crew, they managed to get the engines working just enough. On February 15, 1899, the crew of the Belgica, tired, worn but unbroken, began their journey through the channel they had carved. With the ship shuddering and groaning against the pressure of the ice, they made slow progress. It was an arduous and nerve-wracking journey. But on March 14, 1899, more than a year after they first became trapped, the Belgica finally broke free from the ice and sailed into the open waters of the Antarctic Ocean, marking the end of their harrowing ordeal. This escape from the ice was not just a triumph over the harsh Antarctic environment, it was a testament to human resilience, ingenuity, and the indomitable will to survive. Despite the odds, they had managed to turn a desperate situation into a story of survival and scientific discovery. And in doing so, the crew of the Belgica etched their names into the annals of polar exploration. The Belgica expedition may have been a harrowing and grueling ordeal, but its impact extends far beyond the survival story. The team, led by the indomitable Gerlach and Cook, collected a wealth of scientific data that would contribute significantly to our understanding of Antarctica. The crew's observations, measurements and samples help shape the scientific community's perceptions of the world's most remote and inhospitable continent. They catalogued new species, took extensive meteorological data, and mapped parts of the Antarctic coast, providing a foundation for future expeditions. Moreover, the psychological impact of the long, dark winter and the crew's struggle with polar madness contributed to an early understanding of seasonal affective disorder. Cook's method of using a carefully balanced diet to combat scurvy would inform future Antarctic expeditions and change maritime health practices. And so the saga of the Belgica serves as a chilling reminder of the cost of venturing into the unknown, the fine line between bravery and folly, and the incredible feats humans can accomplish in the face of adversity. The crew of the Belgica didn't conquer Antarctica. Instead, they fell victim to its unforgiving nature. Yet, through perseverance, teamwork, and a good deal of desperate ingenuity, they overcame their ordeal, offering us an awe-inspiring testament to human resilience. As we gaze upon the vast expanse of the Antarctic through their eyes, we are humbly reminded that the unknown still holds many secrets and challenges, even as our thirst for exploration continues. What if I told you that alien technology is not just in the realm of science fiction, but potentially right under our noses? Some say governments around the world may have been collecting, studying, even reverse engineering extraterrestrial tech for decades. And what if we could trace this interaction all the way back to the Roswell incident in 1947, or perhaps even earlier? Let's delve into this fascinating world of UFOs, government secrets, and the tech that could be out of this world. Now, the question that stands out like a sore thumb is, when did the government actually start collecting these unidentified flying objects? The timing seems to be a subject of considerable debate, with some pointing as far back as the early 20th century. However, the watershed moment that brought UFOs into the public eye was undoubtedly the infamous Roswell incident of 1947. After the alleged crash of a UFO near Roswell, New Mexico, many UFO researchers and enthusiasts believe that the US government initiated a concerted effort to recover and study extraterrestrial technology. This is where things get murky. Official records deny the presence of any extraterrestrial artifact, explaining the incident as the crash of a high-altitude surveillance balloon. However, theorists and witnesses insist that there was a cover-up. The years that followed the Roswell incident saw an increase in reported UFO sightings, not just in the US but around the globe. Many believe this marked the beginning of covert government programs designed to acquire, study, and potentially reverse engineer extraterrestrial technology. Through the Cold War and the space race right into the 21st century, the narrative of governmental involvement with UFOs and potential alien technology has persisted. Enter Philip J. Corso, a name synonymous with the most famous alleged UFO incident in history. The Roswell incident of 1947. Corso, a former US Army colonel, shook the world with his claims in the book The Day After Roswell. According to Corso, he was entrusted with foreign technology recovered from the Roswell crash. He alleged that the US government had reverse-engineered this technology and then seeded it into the private sector, with Corso playing a pivotal role in the process. But what exactly was this foreign technology? Corso described artifacts such as a thin, clear material like plastic, reminiscent of the integrated circuits used in our modern computers. He also wrote of fiber optics, lasers, super-tenacity fibers that led to the development of Kevlar, and other advanced technology that was apparently far beyond human capability at the time. He even claimed that the Roswell craft itself was a kind of lifeboat for the alien crew, and was designed to interface with them directly. Now, that's a thought to send chills down your spine, isn't it? A spaceship not just controlled by the creatures, but an actual part of them. However, skeptics have challenged Corso's claims, pointing to discrepancies in his accounts, and citing the rapid pace of human technological advancement as a more plausible explanation for these innovations. But Corso's tale is just one piece of the puzzle. Let's dive deeper, shall we? Now, you might be thinking, if this is all true, why doesn't the government just come out and say it? Well, believe it or not, they kind of have. Over the past few years, government agencies, particularly in the United States, have been more forthcoming about the UFO phenomenon. In 2020, the US Department of Defense officially released 3 short videos showing unidentified aerial phenomena. These were captured by Navy pilots during training flights between 2004 and 2015. Each of the videos showcases fast-moving, oblong objects racing through the sky and performing maneuvers that seem to defy our understanding of physics. The government's acknowledgement of these videos as real, unidentified objects is a big deal. It's the closest we've come to an official admission that there are things in our skies that our best military and scientific minds can't explain. Then, there's the Pentagon's UAP task force, established in 2020 with a mandate to investigate sightings of unexplained aerial vehicles by military personnel. So while they're not saying, hey, we've got aliens, they're certainly saying, hey, there's something weird in the sky and we don't know what it is. But this acknowledgement doesn't tell us what these unidentified objects are, where they come from, or who, or what is controlling them. But it's a step towards transparency that was unthinkable even a decade ago. Could it be possible that this is a slow, calculated strategy to prepare us for something bigger, to acclimate us to the reality of the unknown? Perhaps. But for now, we're left with more questions than answers. So, let's explore further. After all, the best is yet to come. But how long have governments been aware of this alien phenomenon? And when did contact supposedly occur? Let's delve into that. According to some researchers and theorists, contact with extraterrestrial life may have started much earlier than we think. Reports of sightings and encounters date back centuries, with many ancient civilizations attributing their advancements to the sky gods. But when we talk about modern times, things start to get a bit more concrete, albeit still largely speculative. Some theorists point to the events of 1947 in Roswell, New Mexico as a significant turning point. They claim that a crash involving an extraterrestrial spacecraft occurred and that the US government recovered debris and even alien bodies. If this is true, then governments have been in contact with alien technology and potentially aliens themselves for over 7 decades. But perhaps more interestingly, some whistleblowers and researchers argue that direct purposeful contact has been established between humans and extraterrestrial beings. Former Canadian Minister of Defense Paul Hellyer publicly stated in 2005 that not only do UFOs exist, but that governments have been in direct contact with extraterrestrials for many years. He even goes so far as to say that at least 4 species of aliens have been visiting Earth for thousands of years. Similar claims have been made by others, suggesting that this contact has resulted in a wealth of shared technology and knowledge, much of which remains top secret. If these assertions are correct, then we are dealing with a global, multi-generational cover-up, with implications that would shake our society to its very core. But why would the government keep such world-altering information secret? Well, let's take a look at some potential reasons. Now, let's talk about possibilities. What are the potential technologies we could imagine extraterrestrial beings to have? And which of these might governments potentially have access to? For starters, let's consider the obvious: spacecraft technology. We're not just talking about sleek aerodynamic designs that defy gravity. These technologies could potentially involve manipulation of space-time itself. Ideas such as warp drives, teleportation devices, and wormhole generators are all part of this speculative discussion. If such technologies are within the grasp of extraterrestrial civilizations, it could explain the seemingly impossible maneuvers reported in many UFO sightings. Then there's energy technology. It's no secret that we're facing an energy crisis on Earth, but an advanced alien civilization may have already solved this issue. Technologies that allow for harnessing energy from stars, otherwise known as Dyson spheres or Dyson swarms, or even directly tapping into the fabric of space-time for limitless energy, are all within the realm of theoretical possibility. And what about medical technology? Some abductees claim to have been healed or altered by their alien captors. Could we see advanced medical equipment capable of rapidly healing injuries, curing diseases, or even halting the aging process? But perhaps most interesting is the possibility of communication and information technology that could provide access to an interstellar internet, connecting civilizations across the galaxy or even the universe. This could potentially give us access to a wealth of knowledge beyond anything we've ever imagined. Of course, these are all speculative. We're still waiting on solid proof. But if even one of these technologies is real and within our reach, it could entirely reshape our civilization. And here's where things get a little tricky. You might be wondering, if the government does have such revolutionary technology, why keep it hidden? There are a few theories, really. For starters, any new technology that offers a significant strategic advantage is likely to be kept secret, especially in the context of national security. If these technologies can be weaponized, it would be natural for governments to want to prevent them from falling into the wrong hands. Moreover, disclosure could lead to social, economic, and religious upheaval. Imagine the societal impact of realizing we're not alone in the universe, or the economic consequences of introducing free, limitless energy. We could be looking at a complete restructuring of power and wealth, something those currently in power might not be too keen on. Then there's the potential for panic. In 1938, a radio broadcast of H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds led to widespread fear among listeners who believed an actual alien invasion was underway. This incident has often been cited as an example of the mass hysteria that could result from the sudden revelation of extraterrestrial existence. Finally, consider that the governments might be suppressing the information not for our protection, but because they're being instructed to by the extraterrestrials themselves. Maybe the aliens don't believe we're ready for such revelations, or they might have their own reasons for wanting to stay in the shadows. All in all, these considerations paint a complex picture of the potential reasons for the suppression of alien technology. But remember, these are just theories. Until there is official disclosure, we can only speculate, conjecture, and ask ourselves, what if? So there you have it. Philip J. Corso's detailed assertions about back-engineering alien tech from Roswell and the intriguing timelines of government interactions with UFOs. Could it be that we've had access to interstellar technology for decades? And if so, what's been holding back the big reveal? Have you ever wondered how we made such monumental leaps in technology in such a short span of time? From the silicon-based integrated circuit chips that drive our digital world to the Kevlar that protects lives daily, Our technological prowess has soared. But what if I told you there might be more to it? What if some of our revolutionary inventions were not solely the result of human ingenuity, but were rather gifted to us by extraterrestrial entities? Let's explore this fascinating and controversial theory. It's hard to understate just how revolutionary the transistor was for modern technology. These tiny devices, which can amplify or switch electronic signals and electrical power, are everywhere. They are the building blocks of all our modern digital devices, from computers to smartphones, all the way to our most advanced supercomputers. In short, they have defined the digital age. The origins of the transistor, however, are the subject of some debate. Officially, the invention is attributed to three American physicists at Bell Labs, John Bardeen, Walter Brattain, and William Shockley, who shared the 1956 Nobel Prize in Physics for their invention. They certainly did the hard scientific work, painstakingly researching semiconductors and experimenting with germanium and silicon to eventually create the first point-contact transistor in 1947. However, those who propose that the transistor was reverse-engineered from alien technology point to a curious coincidence. The development and subsequent patenting of the transistor occurred shortly after the infamous Roswell incident in 1947, when a UFO is said to have crashed in New Mexico. The timing has led some to suggest that the rapid development of the transistor was spurred by reverse-engineering technology recovered from the crash. Supporters of this theory point out that the transistor represented a massive leap forward in technology, seemingly appearing out of nowhere. They argue that such a major advancement seems unlikely without some form of external input, in this case, extraterrestrial technology. Detractors, however, contend that the development of the transistor was a natural evolution of our understanding of physics and electronics, building upon years of prior research. The truth, as always, may lie somewhere in between. Whether spurred by human ingenuity, alien tech, or a combination of both, the transistor's impact on our world is undeniable. Another technological marvel that is often suggested to be a product of alien reverse engineering is Kevlar, a high-strength material best known for its use in bulletproof vests. Kevlar is 5 times stronger than steel, yet it's also lightweight, making it ideal for personal protective equipment, as well as a host of other industrial applications. The creation of Kevlar is officially attributed to Polish-American chemist Stephanie Kwolek, who was working for the DuPont company in the 1960s. Her work in liquid crystalline polymers led to the accidental discovery of Kevlar's incredible strength and durability. But what if there's more to this story? In the world of UFO lore, there are theories that suggest Kevlar's origins might not be as straightforward as they seem. Some posit that Kevlar's creation might have been guided, directly or indirectly, by access to alien technology. According to this theory, studying alien technology could have propelled our understanding of materials science forward, leading to the development of Kevlar. How might this have worked? Well, if we consider the supposed crash of a UFO near Roswell, New Mexico in 1947, it's suggested that the debris recovered was made of a material that was both incredibly light and nearly indestructible. Such characteristics are strikingly similar to Kevlar's. Could Kwolek's research have been influenced by insights gained from studying this wreckage? This doesn't stop enthusiasts from speculating, however, as it's a tantalizing idea to think that our modern technology might have otherworldly origins. After all, the gap between science fiction and science fact can sometimes be surprisingly narrow. Given the alleged secrecy surrounding reverse engineering alien technology, it's no surprise that identifying the exact locations where this process supposedly occurs is challenging. However, there are a few sites frequently mentioned by those who follow the trail of extraterrestrial tech. One name that almost always comes up in discussions of reverse engineering alien technology is Area 51. Located in the remote Nevada desert, Area 51 has been the subject of UFO and alien theories for decades. Bob Lazar, a physicist who claims to have worked at a sublocation of Area 51 known as S4, has stated that he worked on reverse engineering alien spacecraft there. If Lazar's accounts are accurate, Area 51 could very well be a hub for such clandestine operations. In addition to Area 51, there are mentions of other secretive military and research facilities in the US and around the world. Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio, for instance, is often associated with the Roswell incident. It's thought that wreckage from the crashed UFO was transported there for study. Overseas, Kapustin Yar, often referred to as Russia's Area 51, is rumored to have been involved in similar operations. Located in Astrakhan Oblast, near the Kazakhstan border, the military base has been shrouded in secrecy since its establishment by the Soviet Union in 1946. Then there's Pine Gap in Australia, a joint US-Australian satellite surveillance base. Some believe that Pine Gap may also be involved in reverse engineering extraterrestrial tech, based on its high level of secrecy and strategic importance to the US military. Bob Lazar, a figure synonymous with Area 51 and alien technology, once claimed to work at a site called S4, located a short distance south of the infamous Nevada base. But Lazar's job wasn't your run-of-the-mill government gig. As per his account, he was tasked with reverse engineering extraterrestrial technology. Lazar, a physicist by training, allegedly worked with a team to understand and potentially replicate the propulsion systems of 9 different spacecraft that he claimed were of extraterrestrial origin. He stated that these crafts employed a technology that harnessed gravity itself, using a substance Lazar referred to as Element 115, which was unknown to science at the time of his claims. Element 115, or Moscovium as it is now known, was officially recognized by the scientific community years later in 2003. However, it doesn't possess the properties that Lazar attributed to it, adding a layer of controversy to his claims. Within the labyrinth of the S4 facility, as Lazar described, were 9 hangar-like doors built into the side of a mountain, each one a storehouse for alien spacecraft. In one instance, Lazar recounted a moment where he was allowed to step inside one of these vehicles, dubbed the Sport Model. He described it as a seamless metallic object, both remarkable and eerie in its otherworldly simplicity. Lazar's claims are often met with skepticism, especially as no concrete evidence has been provided to back up his story. Government records of his education and employment were also seemingly non-existent, making it even harder for many to believe his tales. Yet, his detailed account continues to capture the imagination of those intrigued by the potential for human interaction with extraterrestrial technology. So, does S4 house the secrets of alien engineering, or is it merely the epicenter of a well-spun myth? As is often the case when dealing with stories of this nature, the truth remains elusive. Yet, the questions posed and the fascination stoked by these tales keep the discussion of alien technology alive and thriving. Philip J. Corso, a name that rings quite familiar in the realm of ufology and extraterrestrial encounters, claimed to have direct knowledge of the government's secretive endeavors into alien technology. His controversial book, The Day After Roswell, sent shockwaves through the scientific and ufological communities, becoming a cornerstone for those who believe in the conspiracy of government suppression of alien technology. According to Corso, a retired US Army colonel, he was directly involved in the research and development program that reverse-engineered alien technology retrieved from the infamous Roswell crash in 1947. He alleges that he was assigned to a Pentagon project under the command of Lieutenant General Arthur Trudeau, whose task was to filter Roswell technology into the mainstream through defense contractors without raising public awareness about the alien origins of the tech. Among the technologies Corso claimed to have worked on were integrated circuit chips, fiber optics, and lasers, technologies that have since revolutionized our lives in ways we couldn't imagine in the pre-Roswell era. He argued that these advances were not simply the result of human progress, but were significantly accelerated by the study of alien tech. Corso also claimed that night vision technology was developed through the reverse engineering of alien optical systems. He proposed that extraterrestrial entities had superior night vision, which humans tried to replicate by examining the biomechanics of retrieved alien eyes. Critics have challenged Corso's assertions due to the lack of documented proof and the convenient timing of his revelations, coming forth many decades after the purported events. But the startling specificity of his claims continues to ignite interest and debate. True or not, Corso's accounts continue to add fuel to the conversation surrounding the possibilities of reverse-engineered alien technology and its implications for our understanding of human technological development. And as always, thanks for watching. It's indeed intriguing to consider how our technological advancements could be intertwined with extraterrestrial phenomena. From alleged facilities like Area 51 and S4, To claims made by people like Bob Lazar and Philip J. Corso, the stories and theories around alien tech are never-ending, but regardless of whether these assertions hold any weight, they surely open up a world of imagination and curiosity, urging us to question, explore, and keep an open mind. So the next time you use your smartphone or see a bulletproof vest, just remember, it may not be all human ingenuity. Our world is a library of mysteries, some solved, others still waiting to be unraveled. But what if I told you there's a page in the book of Earth's mysteries that's as startling as it is fascinating? Today we're traveling to Brazil, the land of samba, soccer, and believe it or not, one of the most intriguing UFO incidents in history. An event that's been compared to the Roswell incident of 1947. But unlike Roswell, this chapter from the late 1970s has managed to stay relatively obscured from the world's lens. So buckle up as we dive into the depths of Operation Saucer, or as it's popularly known, the Brazilian Roswell. In 1977, in the remote reaches of the Amazon River Delta, something inexplicable began happening in the Brazilian island of Colares. This tranquil and somewhat isolated place, known for its simple fishing villages and sprawling, lush rainforests, became the epicenter of a series of strange sightings that left its inhabitants frightened and astounded. These events have come to be referred to as the Brazilian Roswell, one uncanny echo of the famed incident that occurred in the New Mexico desert 3 decades prior. The sightings were anything but ordinary. The residents started observing bizarre, glowing objects hovering in the sky. These phenomena were not the occasional fleeting glimpses we often associate with UFO sightings. No, these were recurring, often nightly occurrences that lasted for several months. The objects, described by eyewitnesses as saucers or luminous spheres, displayed unconventional movement patterns and would hover over the area, emitting intense beams of light. Local doctors were overwhelmed with patients complaining of mysterious ailments after these encounters. The local government, unable to provide an explanation or assistance, called in the Brazilian Air Force for help. This marked the beginning of an unprecedented military investigation codenamed Operation Saucer. Operation Saucer, under the command of Captain Urange Hollander, carried out extensive research on the sightings. The team comprised of about 24 soldiers who set up a base on Colares Island, aiming to document this unexplainable phenomenon scientifically. They reportedly managed to capture hundreds of photographs and over 16 hours of film footage showing the strange objects. Interviews were conducted with many locals, documenting their experiences and encounters in meticulous detail. The operation, however, was shrouded in an air of mystery and secrecy. While the investigation was taking place, news about these events was not permitted to leak to the outside world. It was a clandestine endeavor that remained largely unacknowledged until years later. The lengths to which the Brazilian military went to study these phenomena begs the question: what exactly was happening on the island of Colares in 1977? And, perhaps more intriguingly, what did the military discover during Operation Saucer? The lights and strange craft witnessed during this time weren't simply spectacles that the villagers could admire from a safe distance. No, these sightings were interactive, sometimes distressingly so. Residents reported experiencing both physical and psychological effects following encounters with the strange, unexplained phenomena, adding another layer to this. The villagers described the lights as intensely bright, usually taking on an array of vibrant colors. These were no mere flashes in the night sky, but rather intricate, luminous shapes performing elaborate maneuvers that defied conventional understanding of physics. Their movements seemed deliberate, as if controlled by some unknown intelligence. The effects they had on the local population were equally peculiar. Numerous individuals reported being targeted by beams of light emitted from these craft, resulting in a variety of symptoms. Some experienced intense heat and were left with first-degree burns on their skin. Others described a sensation akin to being pricked by hundreds of needles. Paralysis, weakness, and fatigue were also commonly reported following these encounters, leaving the victims drained of energy and in a state of deep confusion. One of the most chilling aspects of these encounters was that many victims also reported significant hair loss in the areas where the beams had hit them, a condition known as alopecia. Furthermore, puncture marks or small wounds were often found on the bodies of these individuals, leading to speculation about possible extractions of blood or biological material. What makes these accounts all the more troubling is that they were not isolated incidents, but rather widespread phenomena affecting a large portion of the local population. Indeed, over the course of just a few months, the local health post registered more than 400 cases of individuals suffering from these peculiar symptoms. The consistency of these reports, combined with the physical evidence, defied any straightforward, conventional explanation. deepening the intrigue and mystery surrounding the Brazilian Roswell. But like a sudden blackout in a vibrant city, Operation Saucer came to an abrupt end. It was December of 1977, and despite the operation having just scratched the surface of understanding the phenomena, the Brazilian military abruptly concluded it. This decision came as a surprise considering the increasing momentum of the investigations. The sightings showed no signs of diminishing. The populace was still gripped by fear, and the question of what these lights were remained unanswered. The hasty closure sparked a series of speculations. Some suggested that the military had made contact or had come to some agreement with the beings behind the lights. Others conjectured that they might have found something profoundly unsettling, something that either scared them into silence or was so significant that it had to be kept under wraps. Conspiracy theorists leaped at the decision. They suspected that the US government, given their vested interest in UFO phenomena, as demonstrated by initiatives like Project Blue Book, might have exerted pressure on Brazil to end the operation and keep the findings confidential. They point to potential cover-ups and suppression of information in the interest of national security. After all, what if these entities represented an unknown and potentially superior technology? But amidst all this speculation, the military kept tight-lipped and all files related to Operation Saucer were classified. The lead investigator, Captain Hollander, was reassigned, and any discussion about the operation was discouraged. It was as if a veil of silence had descended over the whole affair, making it one of the most captivating yet least understood UFO encounters in history. Years later, in 1997, Brazil did release some files pertaining to Operation Saucer, but the information contained within was frustratingly sparse. It seemed that the real heart of the matter, the true answers to what transpired during those strange months in 1977, were either lost, still hidden, or perhaps out of this world. Now, as is often the case when governments appear to hide information, a whole wave of conspiracy theories and unanswered questions surfaced. Who were the true puppeteers of these dazzling lights? Were they just an unexplained natural phenomenon, or did they indeed have otherworldly origins? Did the Brazilian military really make contact with these entities? The answers remain as elusive as the lights themselves, but let's dive deeper into these mysteries. Some of the more common theories suggest an extraterrestrial presence, with believers pointing to the sophisticated maneuvers of the lights and the bizarre symptoms exhibited by those who came into contact with them. These symptoms, including puncture marks and anemia, seem to defy logical explanation, leading some to posit that these were results of alien encounters. In the heart of the conspiracy theory jungle, some suggest that Operation Saucer was a smokescreen for a more secret, more in-depth investigation, one that yielded evidence of alien existence and contact. The abrupt end of the operation is often seen as a sign that the military had found something too potent, too shocking to reveal to the public. Yet others contend that the lights were perhaps secret technological experiments, possibly even orchestrated by the United States or another foreign power. The area around Colares is remote and sparsely populated, making it an ideal location for such clandestine tests. But of course, these are all theories, stories spun in the void of official silence. Despite numerous requests and appeals over the years, the Brazilian government has kept a tight lid on the Operation Saucer files. Captain Hollander, the lead investigator, gave an interview in 1997, claiming he had indeed witnessed the extraterrestrial entities during the operation. However, his mysterious death just a year later has only added fuel to the conspiracy theories and speculation. Thus, the Brazilian Roswell remains shrouded in mystery, a tantalizing question mark in the annals of UFO encounters. The island of Colares, once an obscure fishing community, is now etched in UFO lore as a hotspot of unexplained aerial phenomena and an enduring symbol of the quest for the truth about extraterrestrial life. Now, despite the swirling clouds of mystery and speculation, the Brazilian Roswell incident has left a significant footprint on the sands of time. This extraordinary event isn't just another tale of fleeting lights in the night sky. It has created a lasting legacy and has had a profound influence on the ufology and our perception of the unknown. Firstly, let's consider the sheer intensity and duration of the sightings. Over several months, countless people reported interactions with these inexplicable lights. This wasn't just a solitary UFO sighting, but rather a sustained, intensive phenomenon that affected an entire community. It's fair to say that such a level of activity is unprecedented in the annals of reported extraterrestrial encounters. Additionally, the involvement of the Brazilian military, one of the most powerful in South America, gives an extra layer of credibility to the events. Unlike many other UFO incidents, this one was officially investigated, lending an undeniable gravitas to the sightings. The military's serious approach, complete with a specially dedicated operation and its sudden termination, has intrigued ufologists and investigators ever since. The legacy of the Brazilian Roswell also extends to the cultural impact it has had. The story has been the subject of numerous documentaries, books, and articles. The town of Colares has become a mecca for UFO enthusiasts, with many making pilgrimages to this remote corner of Brazil to experience the location of these mystifying events firsthand. Finally, the Brazilian Roswell has made an indelible impact on the discourse about life beyond Earth. The fact that these sightings were accompanied by physical symptoms in those who witnessed them forces us to confront the idea that if there is other life in the universe, it could interact with us in ways we may not fully understand or anticipate. The incident fuels the ongoing debate and speculation about what lies beyond the boundaries of our planet. Ultimately, the legacy of the Brazilian Roswell is a reminder of our enduring fascination with the unknown, the mysteries of the universe, and our relentless pursuit of answers, no matter how elusive they may be. And as always, thanks for watching.